Welcome to the Episode 6 summary of the Ulysses Unlocked podcast, where we analyze Ulysses by James Joyce one page at a time. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment to support us. And remember, for a much more detailed analysis, you can always listen to the main Ulysses Unlocked podcast. Okay, so today we are diving headfirst into one of literature's biggest challenges, James Joyce's Ulysses. But don't you worry, we're not reading all 700 pages. Nope. Instead, we're going to unlock the secrets of just one single page to see how it can reveal an entire universe of guilt, grief, and the epic struggle to become an artist.
So what secrets are hiding in just one page of what might be the world's most difficult novel? I mean, it's a fair question, right? Ulysses is legendary for being impossible. But what if I told you that just one page, page 8 to be exact, contains a whole world of personal grief, mythic battles, and a moral conflict that basically defines the main character? Today, we're going to crack it open.
We start right here, literally inside the head of our main character, Stephen Dedalus. And this isn't just him thinking deep thoughts. No, this is physical. You can feel it. He's agitated. He's feverish. Something has just happened to put him in this incredibly intense state. It's so intense that the world around him is actually literally growing dim as this inner turmoil just takes over completely.
So let's get our bearings. Where in the world are we? Picture this. Stephen is standing all alone on top of a Martello tower. It's an old 19th century military fort right on the coast near Dublin. His roommate, a loud, boisterous guy named Buck Mulligan, has just finished his morning routine and is heading downstairs, leaving Stephen totally alone with his thoughts, just gazing out at the sea.
And as Mulligan leaves, he tosses out what sounds like some pretty casual, off-the-cuff advice. But let me tell you, his words are anything but casual. They're like keys, and they're about to unlock an absolute floodgate of memory and guilt for Stephen.
So how does this all get unleashed? Well, it's a real 1-2 punch. First, you've got this piece of advice that's really just a thinly veiled insult. And then right after that, you get the haunting lines of a song. You put those two together, and bam, that's the trigger for absolutely everything that's about to unfold.
And here it is, the so-called advice. Give up the moody brooding. Now, what he's referring to is Stephen's grief over his mother, who died pretty recently. He just frames it as if it's some kind of personal failing on Stephen's part, that he's just being moody. He even dismisses his own cruelty by saying, "I'm inconsequent," like it doesn't matter. But for Stephen, you better believe that dismissal cuts deep, really deep.
And then, right on the heels of that insult, comes the song. As Mulligan disappears down the stairwell, he starts singing a poem by W.B. Yeats. Now, the poem itself is meant to be kind of comforting, a call to leave your worries behind. But for Stephen, in this particular moment, it has the exact opposite effect. It's like pouring salt in the wound. These are the words that just echo and echo in Stephen's mind. Now, Mulligan is singing them carelessly, but for Stephen, they're a direct and incredibly painful link to his mother's deathbed. That phrase, "love's bitter mystery," well, it isn't some abstract poetic idea for him, it's a specific, agonizing memory. But here's where things get really cool. This isn't just about one young man's grief. Joyce stages this personal drama on an absolutely epic scale. We have to kind of zoom out. That tower becomes a symbolic castle, and Stephen's conflict suddenly has these incredible parallels in two of the greatest stories ever told, Hamlet and the Odyssey. And this is just brilliant. Check out this first parallel. Look at the similarities to Hamlet. Stephen is the brooding prince, right? He's grieving a parent, he's on the battlements of his castle, he's haunted by his mother's ghost from a nightmare, and he feels like his home, the tower, has been completely taken over by a usurper. It's a perfect match.
And of course, that makes Buck Mulligan the usurper. He's like Claudius and Hamlet, telling the prince to just get over his grief already because it's inconvenient for him. And he's also like Antinous, that arrogant suitor from the Odyssey, who's overrun the hero's home for his own selfish gain. Mulligan is playing both parts at once.
Okay, so let's zoom back in now, from the epic scale to the intensely personal. Because behind all of these big literary ghosts, there is a very real, very raw memory that Mulligan's song has just completely torn open.
This is just masterful stuff from Joyce. He perfectly mirrors Stephen's internal state with the external world. So as Stephen sinks deeper into this dark memory, a cloud literally covers the sun. The light starts to fade, the sea turns a deeper green, and the world becomes what he calls a bowl of bitter waters. It's like his mood is literally changing the landscape.
And here is the memory itself. Stephen recalls singing that very same Yeats song for his mother as she was dying, but instead of comforting her, the words, "Love's bitter mystery," made her weep. So you see, he wasn't just hearing a song from Mulligan, he was hearing an echo from one of the most painful moments of his entire life.
So what is the source of all this gut-wrenching guilt? Well, it all comes down to this single, devastating moment. His devout Catholic mother's dying wish was for her son to kneel down and pray for her. But Stephen, who had rejected the church to become an artist, refused. He couldn't bring himself to perform what he felt was a false homage, a lie. He chose his principles over his mother's comfort.
And this is what haunts him. This line. This is the voice of her ghost from a nightmare he had. And it's not a gentle spirit. It's an accuser. It embodies all his guilt and his terror of damnation for that refusal. It's the voice of the very faith he rejected, coming back to claim him through his mother's memory.
So there you have it. This single page reveals a character who is completely and utterly trapped. He is caught between his identity as an uncompromising artist and his love for his mother. It's a conflict that sets the stage for his entire journey through the rest of the book.
And this leaves us with the central dilemma. I mean, what do you make of his choice? Was it a heroic act of artistic integrity? A man staying true to himself no matter the cost? Or was it a cold, selfish, tragic failure to grant a dying woman her last wish? The book does not give you an easy answer.
That one single refusal, that choice between art and love, is the real ghost that's going to follow Stephen for the rest of the day. It raises this enormous question that Joyce leaves us all to answer. What is the true price of becoming yourself? To really explore the full weight of this moment and see how it shapes his entire journey, check out the full, in-depth analysis on the Ulysses Unlocked podcast. Thanks so much for watching.